Cool. Hello. How are you? Had a good day? Fantastic. You are most welcome. Who's hands up? Those of you who are here for the first time. Cool. Copy you, man. Where you been hiding? Brilliant. Welcome to the next season of CDR Sessions. My name is Tony Wachiku. If you're new to CDR, you are welcome. We are a community of music producers and artists, and we run a range of events and projects for producers, ultimately creating safe spaces for people to, become and to meet like-minded people and push yourselves forward artistically. If you're new to us, just check out the website. And we're on socials, as you know, at Create, Define, Release, website createdefinerelease.com, and say hi. And part of our programs is CDR Sessions, of which we get an opportunity to do open CDR and hear tracks that you're working on. Who submitted a track today? A few of you. Cool. Have you heard it already? Sound all right? Low's okay? Need to roll off some 50 hertz or some shit? Yeah? Okay, cool. That's why you're here, right? So we had CDR part 1, and then we've got one a bit later if you're new to CDR, right? And as part of what we do is we have an opportunity to work and talk to artists that we revere, people part of the community, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce the Last Nubian here. Trey, give it up.
Hello. Thank you guys for coming through. Thank you, Tony.
You're welcome, man. And yeah, for the next kind of 45 minutes or so, we'll tap through, talk to Trey, and he's got a couple of projects that he's done that he's going to share with us. There'll be time for you to ask questions, so hold for, if you've got questions, just put it on your phone or something, and then there'll be time to ask the questions. Is that cool? Brilliant. Okay. How are you, Trey? You good?
I'm good, man. Thank you. Yeah.
It's always a pleasure to see, obviously I've seen your face at CDR Sessions, but it's even better to actually see, from you submitting tracks for Open CDR to now you're actually here sharing a track. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for real.
So take us back to, where did you first hear about CDR?
I mean, from like YouTube and old like interviews, like I was saying to you earlier, like Digo and LB and that, and then Sean, he's like for years, he's been like, you need to come down, bring your USB, bring some music, like let people hear or whatever. And then I came to my first one when K15 done his like a year or so back, and since then, like, it's just nice getting insight from someone that you've just been listening to for years, and just hearing some background to them rather than just their music. Yeah.
And do you recall the first submission? What was it like bringing your track down for the first time and hearing it on, Corsica sound system?
Where did I? No, I didn't bring my USB.
No.
I didn't bring my USB, and I think the next time. I think maybe the first time I did was Yasmin Lacey, and that was from this record that's on Eglo, but it wasn't a demo, so
it was pretty much.
It wasn't released.
Yeah.
But I knew, I was like, I want to hear it out loud. But
yeah,
I think I know this.
I remember that very well. Yeah, that's a great release on Eglo, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's go back to kind of the beginning of your career. At what point did you decide, this music thing, I want to give it a go? And what were the steps you took to kind of make that happen?
Probably when I went to uni, when I was like 23. So obviously you grow up, like there's always a pair of turntables in someone's kitchen when you're young or whatever, and everyone's just like queuing up to put on a song or whatever. So there's always that aspect of it, and then there was like just DJing a little bit more, and then getting your first copy of Fruity Loops and just
crack version.
Yeah, exactly, a crack version, just messing about with that. Nothing serious. You'll never show it to anyone. Only my mum heard that stuff. And doing more, and then like kind of still like showing people around you, but also not showing, like not trying to release in that. And then I basically wanted to like kind of get into audio post-production, etc. And I was able to get into uni because I haven't got A-levels in that. So I was able to get into uni by like submitting music, etc. Which is cool that they do that. Do you know what I mean? You don't
based on your portfolio,
exactly.
Right? And life experience.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's because I had access to studio every day. Great studios as well. I went to University of West London. I was just able to actually make music for years, and you have time, and you can just have that time experimenting, basically. Yeah.
And from there, did you reach out to labels to get your stuff released, or do you release it yourself? What was the vibe?
Yeah, I reached out to labels for sure. Like in the early days, you know, you send a demo, you don't hear nothing back, or you hear it back, and it's like, yeah, maybe next time, whatever. Like, keep doing your thing. And the thing is, back then, like, you know, I love like your typical Kerry Chandler, whatever, but I was also very into like Flying Lotus and German artists like Matt Scrape and that, and their sound is like really specific, and like the weirder it was, the better it was for me. And I'm sending it to labels that isn't like that. Do you know what I mean? Like straight edge, but I'm coming with like, you know, just
something different,
crazy, weird. Like now that I think about it, I'm like, you're actually, yeah. And then that's only because you don't have your like music community yet. Do you know what I mean? Like you've got your friends and that, but you haven't got other people that are interested in that kind of sound. So then sooner or later, you know, you're going to nights with similar DJs and you're meeting like-minded people that like the same similar music, and then you know about the labels they're doing whatever, and their friend might be doing a label, and you send them music, and of course they like it.
Of course.
Yeah.
And you know, since then you've obviously had a string of releases. What would you say has been the kind of high point in terms of, you know, releasing music yourself and on other labels? Has there been like a high point?
I mean, like a few years ago, I sent Sean music for his old label Tiff Joints, and that was a high point for me. I love Tiff Joints. And then like when Errol asked me if I wanted to do some music for him for Touching Bass, this is another high point. Touching Bass and Errol, it's like, you know, before he reached out to me, I would have never reached out to him because I'm like, he's not going to sign my music, or he's not going to release my music. So that's another high point because he's reached out to me, and then obviously working with Alex and Nut on Eglo, and it's another high point. And then also like releasing with friends. You know, my friend Chris runs a label, Flat White Records, out in Leicester, and you know, when you release like a good record with them, that's another high point because you get to do it together. So yeah, amazing.
So before we dive into the first of your second projects, what is your typical writing? Is there a typical writing process for you in terms of, you know, from, you know, switching on your computer or your MPC or whatever, you know, what's the, how do you navigate getting to something that's a bit more formed?
I think, so back in the day, it would be like, I would be sampling from records or whatever, and it would start with sampling, do you know what I mean? And from there, like, there would be, I'm making that kind of music. And then I started getting more into synthesis and whatever. And I'm listening to like a lot of 80s Chicago house, and I'm researching how Larry Heard done his music. And I find out that he even have a computer or whatever. He's linked his bloody Juno 60 with his 909 and triggered a bass line from it. And I was like, oh, you can do it that way? All right, I'm going to try buy some equipment and do it that way. And then I learned that, and then that's another way of making music. Do you know what I mean? And then other times it would be like inspiration. I want to make a song like that, or just sitting down at the keyboard and putting down some chords, or just simply sitting down and just plugging a little 4 on the floor, kick drum, putting a hat, and then, you know, you're vibing. Yeah.
And is the process usually quite fluid, or do you get like, you know, moments where you're stuck or whatever?
I'm always stuck. Yeah. Is there moments where it's fluid? Is like, I'm always stuck. I generally have to, if I produce something, either it will come really, really quickly. I'm talking like the first 2 hours, and like half of the song's arranged. So the rest of it is just like it's there, or I will put it down and I'll hear it again a year later. And I finished a lot of tracks like that.
Okay.
Where like I'm just going back through old projects. I'm like, I haven't heard this in ages. This is great. Let me finish it, and then I can finish it in like an hour.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So.
And you're saying in terms of, when we were speaking earlier, you were saying in terms of your workflow, you've got like Saturdays, you're like production day, by hook or by crook. Is that something that's been a staple routine for you? Would you say, or was that evolved into that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously uni, you got so much free time, and then I work full time. So as before, I could make music after work, and then, well, I would choose to make music after work, and I just realized that I wasn't actually making anything because I'm trying to force it after work, and really there's no creativity there. Like, I typically say I cycle to work and I'm listening to an album, I've got so much inspiration that I'll pull over and be jotting down notes. Oh, when I get home, I'm going to do this. And through work, I'm like, I jot down notes on my Gmail, draft emails. And then I get home and I try to do it, but it's not working. You've been out for like 11 hours. Your brain's fried. So I had to get out of that so that I didn't just spend hours doing nothing and get really frustrated. Like, you could go like a few months of not making a track and you're like edging towards it every few hours and whatever, and you get nowhere, and then like that can lead to like a bit of a block. So I tried to keep it like disciplined, where like Saturday is my day and I'll have all those notes all week, and then Saturday I can hash it out. You know what I mean? Wake up, go get my coffee from the coffee shop, go back, listen to tunes, rather than jumping straight in there and then jumping in there, and like I feel like fueled. Yeah. And if it's not a weekend, because something's going on the weekend, my friend Tim Garcia, he told me, like, if you're experiencing the same thing every day and it's stopping you from being able to do what you want to do, change your pattern. So he's like, do you ever wake up early? Do you ever make music early in the morning? And I've never done that. And the idea of waking up like 3 hours before I have to go in the office, that's crazy. That was crazy. I started doing it, and
did it work?
Oh my God. Now I'm like, I'll wake up a few hours before work, early in the morning, and something about, you haven't even spoke to anyone, you haven't even opened your mouth, and your mind is just free, and you get stuff done like super quick.
And I guess, while you're sleeping, you're kind of subconsciously thinking about what you're going to do in the morning, right? So by the time you wake up, you have your coffee in there for the 3 hours.
Absolutely. Cool. And if you're not waking up and trying to do something creative, wake up with things that you have to do. Like, I know that I have to mix down this tune. You know what I mean? Or I know that I've got mixing notes in my head. Write it down. When you wake up, you look at it, you address all the notes, you do it in an hour or two. These small things that you might procrastinate on and be like, I'm going to do it at some point, and you never end up doing it. You never end up finishing that track. Those little hours in the morning, just a little bit of discipline for myself for doing it has helped. Yeah.
Well, it's definitely played off, So, so talk to us about what we've got on the screen here.
So it's a track called Black that was released on Eglo Records a year or 2 years ago. And I just want to talk about this one because I got one that's from a few years ago and it shows the sampling side and it's all Ableton plugins and that. But this one is more structured, I'd say. And I kind of learnt this like way of going about making music which helped me be more fluid. Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's have a listen and then we can talk it through.
So I'll just play, maybe I'll just stick on the master and then I could go through the Ableton session.
Nice.
Thank you. Yeah, so
I must say I do love a fading kick, man.
yeah,
I quite like a fade up kick.
I don't do it often, but
yeah.
it slaps on this one for me. Yeah. So this one, I was coming back from Essex, and I mean, I'm saying that I was listening to a lot of Jamiroquai. I always listen to Jamiroquai. And I heard these chords off Too Young to Die, and it was just going around in my head. The
bridge section, right?
Yeah, the bridge section, exactly. Yeah. Going around in my head. So when I got home late at night, I was like, let me figure out these chords. And luckily, they're just bloody minor ninth pitched up and down, you know what I mean? Which is super easy for me. So I got the chords down. And then that's kind of like, if I know there's something that I like, I can now build around it. Do you know what I mean? If there's something that I'm unsure about, I could go off in different directions and I might not know what the end result is. But when you know, like, I can listen to these chords on loop all day. Yeah. So generally, once I've got like that kind of foundation, like whether it's a nice drum loop or a nice chord loop, I'll start with like, I love drones and pedals. So things that repeat and they're just in the background and it might just be one note. Yeah. So I had this, which is, I think it's just like a preset on my DX7. And then I'll go for another drone. Another just one note. Is this the drone? Okay. It's more...
It's like a harmony, right?
Yeah. And then another drone. Yeah, I mean, just filling out the gaps first. And then what I would do with these like drones, etc., is I love building tension in tracks. As a lot of dance music, you know, everything rises and then falls. So, for example, all right, this one is just acting as a pedal, but like this one, if I show the automation, it'll probably be like, okay, I'll have the, like if you see, oh yeah, this hasn't got the full arrangement, but I've got the delay coming up, and then
almost like a riser kind of
exactly,
thing.
Yeah. And I'll just keep doing that with like the drone parts and whatever. So with this, same thing. Where is it? Yeah, similar thing. Now that I've got that, I've kind of got like the glue already of the track. I could start with the drums, and I think with this one, I knew that sometimes like I go straight in for the drums, but I think at this point I was listening to a lot of bossa nova, and I was like obsessed with percussion. I was buying random percussion instruments and like using it once and never using it again. But at this point I was actually using it. So I got this little wood block. It's not a wood block actually, it's like these. I don't know how to play it, but you do that. If anyone knows what it's called, whatever, it's like that.
It makes sound. That's the
It makes sounds. It makes little percussion sounds like this. So I do that and then record some shakers, and I'll just have it loops from like 4 bars. And
these are all you're playing, right?
The shakers and the wood thingies, yeah.
Did you have to quantize, or are you that Brazilian?
Yeah, I probably, you know, adjusted it. But one thing that I like to do is, if I get to a point that I like, I don't dwell on it no more. I'll freeze it. So in Ableton, if you use Ableton, if you freeze it and then you basically consolidate it, so you can't adjust the sound no more. That's it. Whatever reverb's in it, that's it. And then I can move on. Yeah. Because
that's also it's also a very it's like commitment, right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It works, that's it, move on, right?
Exactly.
Rather than dwelling on it, leaving it. Yeah.
Because believe me, like when I start dwelling, I'll dwell on a snare drum and it'll ruin the track because I'll never finish it. I'll never get past that. So I'll freeze it, and then I got these cowbells, which I definitely didn't play. Either that's a sample or we was talking about Splice. I've recently started using Splice about 2 years ago, which is great. Cool. Now I've got my bloody percussion, my little pedal. Where would I go here? I think I'm adding a little kick drum, which is down here. So I would have just chucked in a kick drum into the actual Ableton grid and then placed it around. Usually, like for like the 4 on the floor, I'll pull it quantize, and then for the ghost kick, I'll just, if you hold command on Ableton, there won't be no grid, so you can place it around. Yeah.
And you're dealing with audio loops, right? Not rather than programming in this particular instance.
For this project, I do both. I'll like use the actual grid, and sometimes a lot of times I use drum rack if I've done it in Ableton. So yeah, got my little whatever. And I always, with like the ghost kick and whatever, so I'll start with like a 4 2-bar loop, and as I build other stuff, so say like the 2-bar loop's got no variation, 4-bar loop's got no variation. Now the 8-bar loop has got some variation. Whatever the 16-bar loop is, that's got more variation, so that it's not fully repetitive.
And in terms of your choice of kick drum, it's obviously quite muffled. Is that intentional, using a kind of almost like a percussive?
Yeah, that's
kick
intentional.
Drum?
Yeah. I knew that, like, because of this tempo, in my head it was like, like amapiano or whatever. Yeah. And it just wasn't like a 909 kick vibe or whatever. And then another thing that I do a lot is I'll get like a break, whether it's some splice or whatever, and then I'll take out everything but the hats. So I'll remove the kick and remove the snare and leave the hats in there, and like put together the hats so it kind of has the break rhythm, and then I freeze it, and then I've got like this. You know what I mean? So this would have been not me programming hats, but taking the hats from a break and taking out everything. And the same thing with the snare. Same thing, like I do it with anything really. The snare, take out the kicks and the hats and pull it together and freeze it. And when I do this stuff as well, I'll process the drums like as much as I can.
And what do you mean by process? So that compression EQ?
Yeah. I'll add EQ and whatever plugins, because I could go, my laptop's rubbish. If I don't freeze it, it's just gonna freeze. You know what I mean? So I'll add 10 different plugins. It's probably not even doing much. Do you know what I mean? And I'll freeze it. Yeah.
And do you have like go-to plugins that you use for standard?
Mainly Ableton plugins, and then I've literally just got like a favorites. These are the plugins that I'll use all the time in Orange. So the Juno Chorus, FabFilter Saturn, some reverbs. This RC20 is like it's like a multi plugin. It's got like reverb and noise in there, and just
instant tapeness there.
Exactly, yeah. And these smart EQs, my friend Dexter showed me about this, and you run a stem through it, some AI shit, and then it will like, you choose like it's bloody drums or whatever, or a snare, and then it will kind of like adjust it and then automatically EQ it. I'm not gonna lie, like 30% of the time it works. The other 70%, you definitely have to adjust it. I don't know what AI is thinking.
Just listen to Ed Sheeran or something.
Yeah, sweet. I've got like my percussion, and then now, like, as I said, I was like feeling Amma, so I got this little loop from Splice, and I've actually kept so much of the low end. Normally I would never keep that much low end if I've got another kick, but I side chained it to shit. Yeah. So got my percussion, my drums, and now, to be honest, I'm arranging from here. Bass line. program a little bass line on my I use a Behringer's version of the Roland SH101.
Yeah, cool. Nice.
I've got SH1. I had a SH101 in the studio I was using last year. They sound exactly the same. Yeah. This one's great. So I got this drums. I got my chords. Now I'm arranging. When it comes to arrangement, I'm basically taking my chords, right, and then I'm just layering and building on that. So I've got the Rhodes from JV 1080.
The plugin, right, or the original, the OG.
I got the OG. Yeah.
Okay.
But I used the plugin as well.
Okay.
They're
the same anyway. So
they're the same.
Yeah.
Exactly the same. Yeah. Layered some chords on also Behringer's version of a monopoly.
Yeah. Nice.
I got my pedals, and now we got a little tune. And then to be honest, this all would have taken me, like, honestly, thinking back to this, I would say like an hour and a half of this, because I don't know, sometimes you make music and like it's there, like you record the little wood thing, you already know I want cowbells next, you already know I want shakers next, you're not dwelling on it, you're just doing it. I want a kick drum. I think the only thing I might have looked back on is like I had this kick, whatever, and then I say I didn't like it and I just got another kick. I'm moving on, because for me arrangement takes the longest. So if I'm spending a lot of time with the creative part, it's going to be a long journey.
I really like your approach to committing. You know, you've basically, bring up a loop, chop it up, process it, freeze it, done, move on. Because again, it almost like makes the mixing process also a bit easier as well, because then it's more about levels, right? Rather than
exactly.
The actual being EQ.
And honestly, it's just about knowing yourself. If you're a person who like overthinks things too much, you should be freezing. You know what I mean? If you're a person who like moves on really quick, maybe you should spend a little time doing that little adjustment, you know what I mean? But I know myself, and I know that I'll dwell on things for a long time, and when I dwell on things, that's when my creative juice is going down. That's when like I'm not getting that idea for the next thing and whatever. And then like if I've dwelled on a loop, I won't put it down for days or weeks, and I'll just be like, no, you can fix this. I go home with notes. That's when I'm like midweek, I'm up till 1 a.m. on an 8-bar loop and going to bed late and fucking up my whole week, and now I'm like, what are you doing? So for myself, I keep it moving, and then I start with the arrangement, which is really important for me. I would love to tell you how I arrange, but man, it's really like random.
It's some feeling, right? Some feeling.
It's a feeling, yeah. Sometimes like it could be a reference from a song. That's really good as well. Is I will like break down a song in Ableton. I do it all the time. Like I'll take a Roy Ayers tune and I'll literally just cut it up, and I'll put these like Ableton cues in it, and I'll be like intro, and then I'll write in my notes like what instruments are in it, and then next he's got a bridge here and he's dropped out the Rhodes, and next he's got this, and this is just for me to learn arrangements of people that I like, and I do it with dance music as well. It's a lot because my arrangements used to be like all over the place, and it's fun to listen to and whatever, but if you want to play it, like I'll not play my own tune because it's just hard to mix into, not because it's cause the arrangement's not making sense.
I guess it needs some kind of form, doesn't it? And some kind of journey, right? Which a lot of dance floor records need, right?
And in the end, like if you're making dance music like house or whatever, you want it played in a club, and you like a little bit of me kind of sucks for creativity, but a little bit of me will be thinking like, I want this DJ to be able to play this easily. He's going to play it a lot. It's going to work well in his set. You can't think of that too much because you might just bloody have 2 minutes of kick drum and then a riser drop and 2 minutes of a kick drum outro. So I basically I've done the arrangement, like with like these arps going up and down and these drones going up and down. And this helps because like they're doing like 16 bar rises. So like every time that rise comes and falls, you can add an element, you can drop an element. Do you know what I mean? You can't do this with like, there's some house music and that don't change, and it's perfect. It doesn't need to change. And if it kept rising and whatever, it's going to take you out of it. Same with like hip hop. Jay Dilla's he's not got rises and cymbals and it's like trying to glue it together. It's not changing. It's a 4-bar loop for 2 minutes. Or if you're me, you're listening to the 30-minute extension on YouTube. You want it the same. Yeah. And I struggle with that. I can't. I feel like that's like the highest of creativity where it's so simple. I can't do that. So
do you think it's because you get bored? You know, as in terms of when you're listening, so you feel that something is like the opposite of that. Do you feel like, oh, people are going to think it's boring, I need to add something?
Yeah. There's that. People are going to think it's boring. And there's also like, honestly, you might not just have cracked that loop that's so almighty. You don't need to do anything more. So because there's little parts of you that's thinking there's something missing, you're just adding. You're adding. And it's not a bad thing because you can add lows and then now you've got an arrangement. You're subtracting it and you know what I mean? You just, you've got a 5-minute track there. But it's sometimes about knowing what the limit should be. You know what I mean? There's enough times like that year-long thing where I make a track and I listen back to it. I'm like, I don't need this, I don't need this, but this is great. Yeah, and then I can like move on with that. But it's for me, it's quite random when that happens.
So I guess making this shot was quite fluid, right?
Yeah.
Was anything in the process that was challenging, and how did you overcome it? So
I had a loop, and generally, like, say I've got this right, the main bit. And like within this, I'll always try create, whether you're creating like variation within the notes, like subtle notes, things that change, like here a bass note will change. This is really good over like 16 bars because the listener's not going to be like, oh, that note changed crazy, but it's going to keep them engaged and interested, for me at least. And then like if you've got your bass line on a VST or a synth, just play with the cutoff a little bit. You don't need to go crazy, just like
a little bit subtlety.
Subtle. Yeah. And you just got little things changing throughout. And like I said, with like layering the chords, like honestly, I'll just have my MIDI, right, which is up here. Where is it? Here. Add your little arrangement here, flick it through different VSTs. If you've got instruments, flick it through that, go through different presets.
Then freeze it.
You never know, and then freeze it.
Yeah.
You never know, like, what it's going to churn out. So, like, this is a DX7. I can't. The problem with freezing, right, is I don't know where this came from. I know it was from the DX7, but I don't know the preset. Sure. I don't know what I ran through it.
So MIDI was playing, you're just flicking through the presets.
Yeah.
And then when something jumps at you, that's the one, drop it. Yeah. So it's less about knowing what the sound is, whether or not.
When something jumps out,
yeah.
I'll still process it, flick random stuff on, and then I'll freeze it. Yeah. There's no looking back, but you won't be able to make it again if you don't know what you're doing, like me. So once I have this, generally, like, if I feel like the track's going really well and I'm like at this place, it's like, don't add no more. You know you don't need to add no more. Like, you're arranging, but you ain't got the full arrangement. That's why I put it down. I might sleep on it, or if it's still time, if it's during the day. For this, I would have slept on it because I started this quite late. But next day, I'm going to play that in the studio, running, or I'm going to have it in my headphones. That's when I'll go for a walk with it in my headphones. I'll cycle to work, have it in my headphones. I'll wash the dishes. That's the best.
Have some detachment from it, right? Yeah. As a consumer rather than someone who actually made it. Yeah.
Because when like you're doing something else, like you're cycling. I mean, I shouldn't be listening to music while I'm cycling, but I'm paying attention to the road. I'm not paying attention to the music. Something about that, like, or you're washing dishes, you're paying attention to that, you're not paying attention to music. Next thing you know, you're humming. You know what I mean? Or you've just thought of some lyrics. I don't know how it's like Yeah. So with this, that definitely happened. I was washing the dishes. I remember it specifically. I got out the showers, listened to it in the showers, washing dishes, and I just heard like, "We don't die, yeah, don't die, no." And then I'm like, "No, that's dead." But I give it a few more hours. I'm like, "You ain't got nothing else. Let's just record it. Whatever, something else might come." Yeah. So then, once I have that, especially with vocals and melodies, I'm gonna try record it straight away. If I'm out, it's a voice note. If I'm at home, I just put the microphone up and I'll start recording it. And so I recorded
Go for it, man. Go for it. We're all family here, man.
Yeah. All right, whatever. All right, solo ones.
Fool, I'm in love. I'm a fool.
Yeah.
I'm in love.
And I would have processed the shit out of this. You don't understand how much I would have processed
I'm a
this.
fool.
And freeze the shit, quantize it, whatever. So if I'm doing vocals myself, and to be fair, like I do vocals a lot on my tracks. It won't be like at the foreground, but it'll be background.
Textures, yeah. I'm saying.
So I would do like a low,
Fool.
and then I would do like another voice.
Fool, I'm in love. I'm a fool. I'm in love.
Whatever.
It's a nice voice, man.
On it. No, that's auto-tune.
With auto-tune. Nice voice with auto-tune.
And then a higher version.
I'm in love. I'm a fool. I'm in love.
And then you got it together.
Fool, I'm in love.
And when you have the chords, it don't matter. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Fool, I'm in love.
it works for me.
I'm in love.
And then
So that was just 3 tracks, right? With that just low, mid, high, just those 3, right?
okay, so actually,
Or did you bounce?
I might have even done like 2 lows.
Yeah. Okay.
And then bounced it together. Yeah. And then I also had this in my head. We don't die, no. We don't die, no. I guess like Too Young to Die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jamiroquai, for those that don't know. Same thing again. Oh, what's going on? Hi. Oh my god.
So talk us through when you were actually recording. Is that home or the studio? When
That's
you were
at home.
Yeah.
Shantae's out. I got the yard to myself. Trust me, because like.
So what's your face like when you go like?
No, when I'm at home, I don't care.
What's the vibe?
I don't care. The vibe is I'm drinking my coffee, I'm drinking a beer, and I'm hashing out. If she's there, I'll be like quiet. I know she's in the next room. Pause. TV. Pause. The fuck's he doing in there? Bar through the door. But I know I was on my own this time. So I got this, and then I kind of just had like, as part of the arrangement, that like you got that rise build. So I got these 2 little loops, like the vocals, like I forget what it's called, but like counter whatever. So I got this. Now I know. I got vocals. Oh, the arrangement's not like a dance track arrangement. It's like I want it more of a song form arrangement, because in my head they're different. Like I said, there's a way to make a house music arrangement. It fits nice in the club and whatever, and then there's like when you want it more of a song, different kind of arrangement. And a good like if you listen to pop music, it's really good for like your standard arrangement and structure. Yeah. So I got this. Got the drop now. Now I know I love a B-side. I want a B-side. So same thing again. And this is like immediately after recording the vocals, I hashed out the vocals, and I just, for this, I jumped on the keyboard and I was just fucking about over the drum loop, and then came up with these chords. Oh shit. Which is like, I always go to like, my friend Dexter, he taught me a couple chords a few years ago and I haven't let go of them. It's just minor 9th chords.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
good old Roy Ayers.
Yeah. But once you have like, I have my minor 9th chord or whatever,
And
that's when I'm
did you play them in, or was it MIDI?
No, I played that in,
yeah, cool.
and then I would have gone in and tightened it up. And then I actually, to be honest, with this one, I did play all the chords, but sometimes I might play one and pitch it around, and then I'm changing notes. Yeah. I might make just one chord major, or one chord sus. That's literally the limit of my chord knowledge, but it works. Now I've got a B-side, and I'll do a bass line, and I know at this point that I'm loving this track. I know that I already know I'm gonna release this, and I know that I'm gonna try go big with it and whatever. So
just so we know, so when you know you're onto something, what's the trade, Last Nubian, this track's working kind of face?
I don't know, man. I'm not giving it to you. Generally though, if I know that I've got a track and I'm like, oh cool, I'm gonna get a bit serious with it now. Yeah. I'll show people. That's really important. Yeah. Show people, get their thoughts, and you have to be like, when you could take criticism is like the healthiest thing. Mm-hmm. Especially if you're showing friends, they're never gonna like, that's shit, and that's shit, and that's shit, and that's shit. But a true friend also won't say that's really good, and they don't like it. Mm-hmm. Then be like, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. So I remember this one specifically. I had this, when I like something, I'm not gonna stop playing it. Every day in the shower on the way to work, I'm loving it. And I took this went to Berlin with my friend Chris, who was playing up there. I showed him, and he's like, this is banging, but he was like, your vocals are great, but you need the female vocalist, I think. You need something to layer it. So that's like another step. Cool, I'm going to get Shantae, and Shantae.
So who is Shantae in your world?
Yeah, exactly. And
who is Shantae to you?
Shantae, she's my girlfriend. Yeah, she's over there.
Big up Shantae.
She plays my band, and she records a lot of tunes with me. And then from there, I'm probably going to start reaching out to other musicians, because it don't stop with me. Like, I can do what I can do, but I love like a good keyboardist. They can hash out solos and whatever, and I don't have to, because I also save as a lot. Every time I put it down, I'll save as. Yeah. And every time, if I add one thing into this, I'm going to save as.
So what version was this? 1,750 or something?
I swear to God, this one has like 24. Yeah. Not versions, just adaptations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I know with this one, I sent it to my friend Nick. He gave me some beautiful piano and Rhodes parts. And I had the arrangement all out, and it was quite full. And I know that there's not much else to give. That's another thing, is like knowing when your song, the arrangement's full, you're either taking something out or you're not adding it, right? And you don't need to add everything. Like, you might have 5 things that sound amazing, but you don't need to add all those 5 things. You have to put something away. And it just won't work. It wasn't, what he gave me was so nice, it was just going to be buried within music. So I didn't use it. And I reached out to this flute player, because flute is like on a high end of the frequencies, and this is all very low end, you know what I mean? Very fuddy. And he sent me the flute is amazing, and yeah, you've got the track there. But with the piano Rose part, I know I'm using that. So I use that for an interlude. Like, you might not be able to use it in this track,
but you can find a place for it at some point.
You can use it. Yeah, most definitely. Salvage. Yeah. And then, once I've got the arrangement, I'm just going to add elements. So, like, little random, like, it's a 707. Probably because of the latency, this would have been done on my MPC. Yeah. 808 drum machine.
Again, just percussive lectures.
Yeah. Textures. I actually didn't use this, but it's still there. Like, I'm just recording things, and there's things that you can't add to arrangement when they're main, like your Rhodes solos and your vocals and that, things that need to be on top of the mix. but there's sparkle things that you add beneath the mix. You know what I mean? Just little elements that, unless you're really paying attention, you might not notice that the 707 is just dipped in there. You know what I mean? This is really loud right now, but I would have had it way more turned down. And that comes from like my Flying Lotus days and those brain feed a lot, and even like old floating points and that. There's tunes, like I was obsessed with Flying Lotus in uni. There will be tunes that I know like off by heart. I've heard it so many times, and I kid you not, I'll listen to it again like, oh, I didn't hear that though. Yeah, like he's got this little one thing that's come in, and they was always really special for me. Like they're like golden bloody Easter eggs or whatever. I love hiding that in there. Someone might never hear it, but I know it's there, and like, yeah.
And there'll be some person like you back in, who will listen out for those
like
things.
A bloody, a nerd, isn't it? So, but whatever.
Little golden nuggets.
Yeah.
Wicked.
Yeah, wicked. Yeah, and then at this point, once I've got the arrangement down, I'm gonna bounce all of the tracks because my laptop shit and CPU, and then I'm gonna start with the mixing process.
Yeah. So with the mixing process, is that something that you do yourself, or do you work with an engineer?
90% of the time I do it myself. Yeah. But at this, I remember in this moment, like of me making music around this period, I was starting to like, I like the idea of someone else mixing your music. You put it down, and you get someone else, and because like I always found when sampling records, right, it wasn't just I'm sampling from a vinyl and it does sound great, but it was always like, oh man, like there's 6 musicians that's been in this room and recorded together, and it might have gone through 2 engineers or an engineer in that room and then a mixing engineer later, and this record's been mastered and this record's been through like 10 different hands. You know what I mean? It just felt like that sample had life, right? And I could never beat that, like recording that sample and using that sample. It always felt special to me. So I also like the idea of my tracks going through a lot of hands. You know what I mean? Like whether that's people you're collaborating with, whether it's a mix engineer, if it's a mastering, whether it's been pressed on vinyl, whether you've bloody like given it to someone and told them to record it through Ableton and give it back to you. It's gone through someone's hand. You know what I mean? So I sent this one to a mix engineer. It was my first time sending it to a mix engineer, and the experience was really shit. Okay. Yeah, because like I didn't realize that when you mix your own music, like it's almost like a production thing. Like I've not approached it as a mix engineer. I'm like obsessed with the 90s and that. So I like certain textures in it to sound gritty and lo-fi and whatever. And I'm a mix that way. And I'm really specific with, how a kick should sound, like how loud it should be and whatever. And I now know, which I didn't know back then, that when you give it to an engineer, that he's an engineer and he's been doing this for a long time, or she's been doing this for a long time, maybe, and they're bringing their own skills to it. You need to let go of it and let them do their thing, right? And that's why you need to do your research on it as well. Like listen to music they've done before, which I didn't do. And you know that you like the way they mix. So when I gave it to him, and he said there was this video, which I also didn't like, but whatever. He sent me this video. It was like a real strict 2-minute video of him basically saying, don't give me any notes when I have this project, right? Like trust in my ears and whatever. And I got it back. I didn't trust in his ears. I was like, you fucked up this mix, yeah, essentially. So there was a lot of back and forth, and he done like, in the end we got there and he done a really good job, but I did end up mixing it as well.
Yeah. How many revisions did you have to do before?
Not many, like 3. Yeah, but I got him to send me the stems, and then I done my own little mixing process, right? And this is all my fault, like, because I didn't do my research. I think he mixed one Carl Hall tune. Mm-hmm. I saw his name on the Bandcamp under one Carl Hall tune. I was like, banging, like, he's the one. Mm-hmm. Now I'm very conscious, like, if I'm sending it to an engineer, or if I'm going to send it to an engineer, I want to be able to have a conversation with them. I want to chat through the process and that without leaning on them and backseat cooking. But I want some back and forth as well, because it's your baby as well. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
And also, I think, I wouldn't say it's a mistake. I just think it's something you have to go through. You know, I think that, you know, you've obviously taken the track to 99% of the place. And it's almost like the mixing. It's almost like you're mixing as you go with what you're doing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And the mixing process with someone else is almost like, I guess, the last step in terms of the relationship between the elements and make sure it's punchy and, you know, loud enough for mastering and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, do you, like, if you haven't released before, like, do your research on like your mastering engineer as well. That's really important, because sometimes like master engineers will add something that wasn't in the track before, like it's mad subby and the bass is really loud and like, and you might have produced it in a way where you wasn't going for that. So
cool. Before we need to move to the next project, let's see if these guys have got a couple of questions that you'd like to ask. If you have, stick your hand up and we've got a mic for you. Cool. Question at the back there.
Hello. Thank you so much for the part 1. Wanted to ask you, what is the element that sparks joy? Is it melody? Is it textures? Is it beat? What is the thing that you enjoy the most?
It's going to be harmonies and chords. Second to that, it's going to be drums, but drums, like when the drums alone are like, oh, I want to go out on a Friday, that's like a real important thing for me and whatever. But chords like can make me be like, I want to go out on a Friday, or chords can bring like tears to my eyes, or just mad emotions that, it's just a beautiful thing that I can't really explain that resonates for you, but people who feel chords and that, which is most people, they get that, and it's from harmonies. I think.
Anyone else? Question in the back there again.
Hiya.
Hey.
I wanted to ask a question about sort of your influences. Like, for me personally, I hear a lot of kind of Oceanlade, Kerry Chandler, Ron Trent, that kind of stuff in your music. Are them kind of guys people you?
Oh man, you hit the nail on the head. Oceanlade, Theo Parrish, and this from the house side, Moody Man, and like Phil Johnson, and and then there's just like from the British scene, like The Jungle, Shy Effects, and Four Hero, and Digo, and Kaidi Tatum, and the whole Bugs lot, Mark Force, and whatever. And then there's like the European, like Matt's Grave and whole Tartlet, and Money Sets Records lot, and these I'm just naming people from different periods of my life, which still to this day I listen to like regularly. So all
cool.
of that.
Thank you.
Wicked. Before we move on, incidentally, what's the chord that makes you cry? Do you know that?
Oh, it's gonna be the minor ninth. Yeah. With
F minor 9. What were you thinking?
Nah, no specific one, but
just
I don't know what it. I mean, it's called minor ninth, but Dexter taught me the little inversion. You know, you drop this and you drop this and you put this fifth on the bass line, and now you got Roy Ayers chord or whatever. And you know, you pitch that up and down. You got house music. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, we got first next.
So I'm gonna go with. I was looking. Oh Jesus. One sec. So the reason I chose this one's from not too long ago, but this released on Touch and Bass. And Black, like, I've got a lot of like toys in that, because I just, you know, I get obsessed with like the 90s. I'm buying a JV 1080. I don't need it. I got the VST. I just opened up the same project. But you don't need all that stuff. Like, honestly, every time it's really good for inspiration and creativity. When you get something new, you play around with it, especially if you know how to use it. And it could create new sparks, but you don't need it right at the end of the day. So I chose this one because this is back when I used to sample like all the time, and this before I knew about Splice and whatever. And they're all every like instrument that was used for VST is an Ableton VST and or a free VST. So I'll just play like a bit of the master because what I'm playing now is not even mixed and the kick's probably really loud. And this is a collaboration between me and my friend Nick, based in Switzerland, Sweet Fruity Brunch, who I collab with a lot.
Amazing.
Thanks. Yeah, so generally like Nick's in Switzerland, so I collab with him a lot, but collaborating like when you're not in the same room is just a whole different process. And
big Dropbox or we transfer, what's the
yeah,
vibe?
yeah, we transfer. I think this one came around because this is really short, but he basically sent me this, which he's such a, if anyone knows him, he makes like beautiful music. He makes so much weird, beautiful music. I'm like obsessed. It's like really slow and whatever. He's definitely pitched this down. And at the time I'd have been like, this is fucking sick. Yeah. We wanted to make a project together anyway, so we was kind of sending each other stuff. And I was like, can you send me the stems for this? So he sent me the chords, the MIDI, so the main piano chord loop, the MIDI of that piano loop, some of his solos, and like a few of his samples. So from there, I would have just played like, got a nice BPM that I like, and then looped up the chord, which was just, this project's a mess. Where the frick? Alright, here's the roads. Oh. This. And then from there I'm making drums, I reckon. Yeah. So I used to use Machine by Native Instruments. This was before I got my MPC. And yeah, just like I remember specifically that this I got from like a B-side of a Masters at Work record. I think it's like a remix of like some big hip hop track. So would have looped this up, added my kick.
You love your low subby kicks, right?
Yeah, I do love my low subby kick. This one's particularly fucking low. That's just a 9 with some distortion on it. Yeah. Some shakers, which would have probably been from a record. Yeah. Also my hi-hats, I know for like just listening to that, it's from Max Grave had an alias called Torben. Okay. They released like 2 or 3 records. I used to love the hats on it. I don't know where he got it from, but I sampled him. Nice. Just 909 standard, whatever. And then yeah, so I got this, and then from there, I'm not gonna lie, I would have just not stopped sampling. Mm-hmm. And like I'll just go through. Like mood to swing, O drum break. God knows what O is. But then also Demua, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. He's a producer from Canada. As like a little top loop, nice. But put that underneath.
Again, it's just textures, right?
Textures, exactly. Moody Man sample. I'm sure we all know this if you know Moody Man. Percussion, probably just some samples and whatever. And then like once I build the drums, kind of like now I do like the whole drone thing and that, but back then like I'd build the drums and then I'd build the textures around it, and like little vocal vox, whatever you want to call it.
So I guess your process is quite similar. I guess now you're using more of your own recordings, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than just off vinyl. Yeah.
And this like, I have no idea what that is. Probably what I do is like I'd get it in time, like to the right BPM, and I'll just like play it across the drums, and I'll just like command L if you're in Ableton and loop little half 1 bar things. And just see if like something's kind of hitting with the rhythm. Because I like Moody Man, a lot of his tracks, he'll have like a 1 bar loop of whatever, some track just running through it, he'll fade it down, fade it up, and
Cool. All right, so just conscious of time, this has been so amazing. You guys got any further questions you'd like to ask, or general responses to what you've seen? Mesmerized, yeah? That's okay.
I probably bored you lot.
I just had one question. You know, on the last project, right?
Yeah.
Am I right in thinking that you might have a jam until it gets to 200 bars? And then maybe when you kind of find a motif that you can stick to, then you build around that?
Nah, I would have just jumped in at 200 bars and just started making from there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Most likely, yeah. I generally start from 17 bars just in case I want to add like an intro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Anyone else? Go for it.
Hi, mate. Thank you for this. Just wanted to ask, you spoke a bit before about you mix some of your tracks and some of them you don't mix.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what your view is on automation in your tracks that you do mix. How much do you use? Do you like to keep the samples kind of raw? Or does it sort of vary depending on the sort of music you're making?
Yeah, like if you're in a mixing sense, in a production sense, I'll use a lot of automation for like the rises, etc. But in a mixing sense, it depends really. Like if there's vocals and there's something prominent that comes in, like dip like the chords a little bit. But I don't automate too much when I'm mixing. Generally mixing will be like equalizing and compression and like finding a reverb and that. I do all the automation like in the production part of it, because it's production stuff for me. Cool.
Cheers, thanks, man.
Thank you. Another last one here.
What are you excited about in your next phase of music? Like, what are you making right now, and then what are you excited to explore in your upcoming journey musically?
I'm making I perform with a band as well. So I've been making a lot of music for the band, which is essentially me writing, or like I'll write a tune on a guitar, like a whole song, and then present it to a band. Like my friend Dexter will come around, we'll do a session, and that's really exciting for me because obviously all the time I'm producing house and hip hop and whatever, electronic focused music, samples and that. Now I'm like, writing tunes on a guitar and singing lyrics and writing lyrics and presenting it to a band. It's really, really different approach to how I would normally make music, with everything, which is the reason it's exciting for me because I'm learning new stuff as I'm going along. Yeah.
What's the band called?
Ships of the Pharaohs.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Nice one. Have you got any shows coming up?
I just done my last show at Jazz and Wick on Saturday, and I say last show because I just want to have some time to record and write music with a band rather than just rehearse and play. But we did take one in Bristol, which is in November.
Cool.
But
okay.
apart from that, I don't think we'll play with the band until next year.
So I get the sense there'll be an album coming in the new year from the band.
There'll be an EP, followed by another EP, and then followed by an album. Yeah.
Keeping busy.
Keeping busy. You're trying to. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Trey, thank you very much for your time, man.
Thank you.
So
man.
give it up, people.
Pick up, Tony. Thank you.
Amazing. Cool. All right, stick around. We've got Open CDR Part 2. But more importantly, if you're new here, just come up to someone and say hello, right? We're all like-minded people here, producers, artists on our journey. So, yeah, nice one. Stick around. See you another time. All right, cool.